Easy Sports Talk Show with Ed Smith and Javon Adams. I am Javon Adams, and that man right next to me is a man who played not only professional baseball, but also played in the National Football League for that first Super Bowl bound team for the Atlanta Falcons. And we're going to get into a little bit of that history here in just a moment. But we do this thing 3 times a week: Monday, Wednesday, Friday. Tell a friend to tell a friend about what we have going on, not only in podcasts. Again, you can search Easy Sports Talk Show feature with Ed Smith and Javon Adams, and it'll pull up. Or if you're on our YouTube page, if you're not, then tell a friend about the YouTube page as well. But yeah, what is good, my brother?
Conference championship week, man. I had some great memories of this one leading up into it, and then obviously the game. So yeah, this is a fun. This is for the players still remaining, man. The excitement is out there because you can see that goal right in front of you, man.
Yeah, that is what we're going to start with, and then I want to get your thoughts on the microwave society that we're in when it comes to coaching. This example will come from the NBA, and then just something a little lighthearted. One, not your favorite, because saying favorite that's too limiting. Like saying, well, who's your best MC? Who's the best singer? No, one of your favorites, one of your favorite rap albums, and why. So let's get to it. So you have experienced conference championship week when you were, of course, with the Atlanta Falcons. You came off of the victory against what led to the San Fran. All right. So is that when you faced your brother?
Yeah. They Green Bay and Brett Favre had gone over to play them in the wild card, and then they got by them and came out to us. That was the year they had San Fran had Jerry Rice, Steve Young, Terrell Owens before he became T.O. My brother was there, Garrison Hurst. They were stacked. They were ready. They came over, expecting to whip our tails and move on. So.
Okay, so now you are victorious. It's a wonderful season that you're having. Now you're leading up. Now you're going to be facing the Minnesota Vikings, right?
Yes.
Minnesota Vikings are a juggernaut. Everybody's thinking, oh, they go into the Super Bowl. It's no doubt they had everything that you need. So what was your thought process going into that conference championship week, and what was the preparation like?
Well, with they, facing a 15-1 Vikings team, and we were just surprisingly 14-2. How you go 14-2? You're still a 2 seed, that type of thing. But everybody, they were stacked. Randy Moss, Randall Cunningham. You run down, Robert Smith, running back, and they were just, they blew the league up that year, setting records all over the place. And here these lowly Falcons getting ready to go up there. We were 11-point dogs going up. And I remember the week of prep, we started early in the week work because we knew going into the dome up there, we weren't going to be able to hear anything. And Coach Reeves was like, every day we're going to practice. They pulled these speakers out, bro, the size of, they look like a joke. These speakers were so big, and they put like 3 or 4 of them on each side of the field. So every time we took snaps, they played just like loud music or rocket sounds and stuff like that. So, to get us ready for the noise. And we went with a total non-verbal snap count. Everything was on rhythm by our center. He did, down, his head down, up. Then it was like 1 snap. When we went on 2, he went down, back up, look where left, right, down, back up, snap. That time. So we worked on that all week in preparation for going up there. I was at a disadvantage because I was the move tight end that week. So I was off the ball probably, and however many snaps I had, I probably was off the ball 50% of my snaps. So it was, crazy. So I can't see the ball. So I'm going on movement of either the tackle's hip or tight end if I was on off the ball. So it was crazy. But but week of prep was, you got into your book. At least I got into my book, and you start like just prepping and every down to every detail, because I didn't want to be the one to get up there and do something stupid, crazy. Yeah. So practice. Home, that was a week where I didn't take calls from anybody. Wasn't talking to anybody, wasn't going out. And I knew normally during the season I didn't go out a lot anyway, but I didn't even have people over, like, company. I was like, sorry, ladies, this is a business week. And I was all focused. So then we get up to Minnesota. We actually went up a day early. My best friend Calvin and I, he was our offensive guard, starting offensive guard. He and I, we got up a day early, which was, we went up Friday. So we land, we had meetings that night. Saturday, we had quick meetings in the morning, walk through, and we had some time. Calvin and I go over to the Mall of America. Never seen it before, so we thought, let's go to the Mall of America. We get over there, not realizing this thing is as big as a city.
Yeah, I hear it's huge.
4 stories. It's so big. They got different stores on the same. Like they got a Victoria's Secret on the first floor, but they got one on the 3rd and 4th floor, just in case you don't go on the 3rd floor that day you're there. I was like, and they had a log ride up at the top of it, like a roller coaster. That's how big it was. Yeah. So, we get in there and we got a little time, and halfway through, we're walking around there thing. Halfway through, we're like, wait a minute, what the hell are we doing? We're supposed to be off our feet today. So we did a quick run through it, went back to the rooms, studied, and it was just, for me, I was just in total focus mode. So, went back to the room, studied, just prepping and getting ready for it. And, that was that prep for the week. Coach Reeves had us ultra focused. And before he had us just, through the season. And remember, this is another caveat. He had just had open heart surgery a few weeks earlier. In New Orleans, when we clinched 3 weeks earlier, he missed the Miami game, week 16 or whatever it was, 17. So he still wasn't even in good health. But we were all like, man, we're going to do this. We're going to do it for coach. We're going to do it for ourselves. But we were just really focused on the task at hand going up there. So, that was a week of prep going up.
What about the game itself? So you get to the game. So you've mentioned before a couple different times where the difference between the intensity level or the speed of the game going from the preseason to go into the regular season, go into the playoffs, how it gets ratcheted up. So what was the game like when you get into the game? How are you feeling? Are you confident that you're going to win? What's the mood of the team as you're getting in the game itself?
Well, we were as one. And that was what we had to do. there were guys on the team. I've told you stories about how everybody didn't like everybody, right? But this was a game where when our last meeting going in, it wasn't even like anything had to be said, but if we get to the stadium, we getting dressed, and it was intense, but you could tell we were focused. And I remember getting out on the field, and then you start realizing, man, if we win this game, we're going to the Super Bowl. It's not if we have a great season and get to the playoffs. And then, no, this game is the one. And it was in Miami. You're thinking, you try not to look too far ahead, but you're like, damn, we win this. My brother was in town because we had beaten them the final the week before. So he had flown in. There was a pack of about 100 of our fans, and they had them up in the very top corner of the stadium, in the direction that we were kicking the field goal, up to the right. And then you could just a little batch of 100 people out of, I think there was at the dome held 75 or whatever it was. This thing was so loud, Jay. I remember standing on the field, and I knew we were going silent count. So I was trying to come up with ways. How do you drown this noise out? Because they had that big Viking horn. It was, the closer we were getting to game time, they were getting ramped. At one point, Jay, I was like, well, let me see. I took some tape. I put it on both my ear flaps. The sound, and they went to a pitch, right? The sound was going up into my helmet, and it was vibrating so bad. I was like, what? I mean, it was worse than you can imagine. It was like somebody stood next to you and did one of those blowhorns, right? I was like, that's not going to work. I don't want my ears ringing all day. So I took the tape off, and I was like, well, let's just go, So then, we get into the game, bro, and it was, once you get no matter how intense something is or how big the stakes are, once you start playing, then it becomes a game again. Now it's like, okay, we're done with all the hype. We're done with all the, this is what's at stake. But we got out there, and then it was hitting. The first time I was on the field, go against Randall, John Randall, Hall of Famer.
Ooh,
he's there, man. He's out there, bruh. This dude's got all the fake paint on his face and everything. Yeah. And he's out there, hitting his head and I'm across from him. I'm looking. I'm like, and but it wakes you up. So now it's game time. Once we got into the game, it was like we hit them, they hit us. And it was one of those things where they expected us to take the first hit, go down, and they were just going to roll us because they rolled everybody all through the year. Mm-hmm. And at some certain points in the game, it was a back and forth. But by the time we got to the third quarter and we were still hanging around, and we took some of their stuff away, like Randy Moss was good for go deep, Randy. We're going to throw it up. And we had a plan. We had to do, covers over the top sometime. We battled him man to man sometime, but you didn't want to get into too much of that. But it's one of those things where their stuff wasn't working like it always did for them, and you could look over and they were kind of like, "Well, wait a minute, they're supposed to just let us win this one, and they're supposed to lay down." And we were out there fighting, bro. And I remember, I'll tell you, I'll set up after this. I caught a pass in the game. We're down there on about the 7 or 8 yard line going in, and we ran a bootleg to my side, and it was a funky look. It wasn't a good look for it, but we ran it anyway. Tight end, the defensive end and we locked. He went outside when I was trying to throw him inside and then go out, but Chris saw me because he went around. Chris saw me. Everything was quick. He hit me, but it was only like 3 or 4 yards out into the flat, and the little defensive or back came and hit me, but he hit low and he grabbed my leg, and I'm trying to get away from him because I'm like looking, and it's like I'm 8 yards away from pay dirt, right? But I look up, bro, and I see the brigade coming, and I was like, I ain't gonna get there on this one, but I took that, I'm still struggling about it. All of a sudden, boom, 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 and I get hit, right? And the little defensive end or defensive back, he gets up, jumps right in my face. And you know how calm I am, right? He's like, "Yeah, MF, where you going?" I looked at him and I was like, "Wait a minute, you little," I was like, "You grabbing legs out here. You just barely holding on." And we're face to face. And all of a sudden I hear something over my shoulders. Chris Chandler, quarterback, Ed, get back in the effing huddle. I lost my cool for just a second, right?
Right.
So I get back in, but I mean that was just so intense, bro. When I tell you how like every hit, every catch, I had a tackle in the game as well. We ran the play. OJ was up the field. He fumbled, and it was right out in space in the secondary. He fumbled, but I was out in my route on the other side. He fumbled it. Defensive back picked it up, was trying to get down the sideline, and I ran, and I got him right at the sideline, tackle, boom, that type of thing. So I had a couple of my little highlights in that game, but it was so intense, bro. And like I said, then we got to the point where they're ready to kick their field goal to go up by 10.
All right, yeah.
And I'm down on the sideline. I started walking away from it because I was like, once he hits this, it's over. And I was kind of like, tears were a little welling, but they weren't coming yet. But, I was like, oh, damn, we had a good year, and all of our teammates were up. Everybody's up on the sideline. I'm way down the other end. And their Anderson, boy, he hadn't missed a kick in 2 years. Snap, kick, it's up. That doggone thing started leaning right, bro. Or left, I should say. Every one of us started leaning left with it. Just missed. So now we got a chance to go down and tie. We get the ball, go down there. I was in and out on a couple different snaps on that drive. We ended up scoring a touchdown, tying it up, and then go to overtime. And you talking about it was the first ever overtime playoff game, NFC Championship game. So we're just it's on, man. They get the ball, they don't score. We get the ball, we don't score. They got it again, they don't score. And we know somebody else going to score because these can't end in a tie, right?
Right.
We get that ball, we start driving, and a couple things start happening. We hit OJ down the right side for a play. All of a sudden, we're in field goal range, bro. And it's like, holy cow. We steep inching. They stop us. We got about a 40-something yarder, and now we're out there on the field. They call timeout to freeze us. I'm the left wing on the field goal unit.
Okay.
So there's a guy trying to get through my inside gap, and I got to get the screamer off the corner, right? So we all know we're in the huddle. They call timeout. And we're all in there, and we're just like, nobody hold, nobody move. Because obviously it's all on the snap. And bro, you talk about nerves. Get up there to the line. I get in my stance. Ball snap. I get the guy on the inside. I get the screamer on the outside. I spin out. That doggone thing cleared the line of scrimmage.
Yeah.
Falcons are going to the Super Bowl, bro.
Yeah, man. I see you in the moment right now with it, too. That's awesome, man.
That, man. It was so cool.
That's awesome,
so man. Cool.
That's awesome, man. That's awesome. I like that. So Easy Sports Talk Show. So we gonna make you get emotional a couple more times down the road too, because next week it'll be the week in between. So what you do the week in between, and then of course want to hear the Super Bowl story as well. So I appreciate that, man. You was right there back in the moment. I like that, man. I like that. Ed Smith. Yeah. Ed Smith. So again, Easy Sports Talk Show. He's Ed Smith. I'm Javon Adams. We do this thing 3 times a week. So now we've talked about the I mentioned it a couple times because I believe you when you say it. It's the yes we can when we talk about yes, it doesn't matter. You sign this coach to a contract, he's underperforming. Yes, you can blow that guy out, or yes, you can go for if you're don't settle for mediocrity, go for something more if you believe you have the talent to be able to do so. And I wanted your thoughts on this because the Milwaukee Bucks, they let go of their previous coach Budenholzer in the offseason. They fired him, and then so they bring in a rookie head coach, Adrian Griffin. So he's a rookie head coach, and there's a lot of expectations because you have Giannis in his prime, all those different things. They get the trade to get Damian Lillard in the fold. So now there's all these expectations, but you have a rookie head coach, and they fired him yesterday. And you would think, well, they fired him. Why? Because they were underperforming. What were they, 13-30? No, they were 30-13. Yeah. Now the speculation is that they fired him because the defense was struggling, but in my opinion, and I want to get your thoughts, in my opinion, that's way too short. If you think about how the Miami Heat, when they put that super team together with LeBron and Dwayne Wade and Chris Bosh, where it was Spoelstra was the head coach, and they were having a little bit of struggles early on, and especially in that first season. And LeBron and Dwayne Wade go to Pat Riley and they say, we want this guy out, and Pat Riley says, nah. Y'all got to no. He's the coach. He's the coach, man. Because they wanted Pat to come down and coach, and because Pat stood his ground, they ended up winning 2 championships with that squad. But I think it's too much of a knee-jerk reaction. He's 43 games into his first coaching. Now, if you want to go and try to see what we can do how can we switch it up to make them more to get them to buy in defensively or with some of your schemes and such. But I just wanted your thought on. It seems like there's so much less patience when it comes to coaching, whether it's basketball in this example, or if it's college, or even in college I've seen 1 year as well, college or in pros, whatever the sport. I wanted your thoughts on that.
Yeah, I think it's a total panic move. This dude is, like you said, 30-13, bro. However they're winning. Yeah. I think it's deeper than
it has to be, right?
It has to be. It's got something going on personality-wise that they Giannis and everybody was all in on this guy coming in, and just that fast, we're winning and we're 30-13, second in the East, would be first over in the West if we were over there, but we got to get rid of this guy. Yeah. Why not? Hey Jay, why not bring a defensive specialist assistant coach in to help him with the defensive parts of things? Obviously, they're winning somehow. Bring somebody in instead of firing him, in my opinion. Give the man an opportunity to turn it around instead of, like you said, his knee jerk. You bring somebody in now who's going to have a whole new focus on not just the defensive side of the ball, but
and
the
it's
offensive
Doc Rivers.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. So I know Doc Rivers has won an NBA championship, but I'm not. Doc Rivers is not my go-to coach. I'm sorry, but maybe that's just
I don't
me.
know.
But
listen. I don't know if you heard the report. Doc was actually there advising the guy, so that's like having a snake in. I mean, that's the hen house, right, Mr. Fox? Why don't you come on over here and hang out in the hen house? We got a little bed right here for you in the corner. We fluff you something up. I mean, golly, they didn't have to go far.
I think y'all should just let him go. I mean, I'm happy to help if you need me.
Yeah, he advised him right out of a job. That's just that's cold, bro. Yeah. And we'll see how it goes. My son's a Bucks fan, so he was all up in arms yesterday when he gets in the car. I picked him up from school, and it just happened like 20 minutes prior, and I was like, guess what, bro? And I mean, he had the same reaction, especially when he heard about Doc. Everybody knows Doc's reputation. And if this is like, I don't know why you made the hire in the first place, because there were other candidates out there that didn't get away from him, Nick Nurse and some others that went other places. If it was it's championship or die, and if you're 30-13, get a man a chance. We don't want to waste a year of opportunity. And here's the other thing, Jay. In basketball, defense is all about effort.
Yeah, man.
Defense is about effort.
Mm-hmm.
So
speak on it.
Can the players please take a little bit of blame on this?
Yeah.
You guys are the ones out there playing the defense. If it's a bad scheme, well, I mean, you got Giannis on the backside, you got all these other, towers back there. How come we can't protect the rim a little bit? And Damian, please, come on. You're making all this money. I know you're there to score, but it's not against the rules for you every now and then to stand in front of somebody and keep them from getting to the rim. So, I mean, it's all about effort, bro. And you got the players have to take some of the blame for this. But yet it's his fault. Let's go ahead and get rid of him. Now, I don't understand that at all.
True indeed. True indeed. Easy Sports Talk Show. He's Ed Smith. I'm Javon Adams. You can go to easysportstalk.com, easysportstalk.com to find out, to stay involved with everything that we're doing. Believe in the Arizona Cardinals is a podcast that we do. We'll get back to that next week. And to start to go over things for draft and all that good stuff. So Believe in the Arizona Cardinals. You can go to believe.com, the SiriusXM app, search Believe in Cardinals, wherever you find your podcast. We also do have a terrestrial radio show every Saturday from 1 to 3 Eastern on Sports Map Radio. It is a national show, but if you're not in one of the 98 markets that we're in, you can go to sportsmapradio.com, click on the little play icon in the upper right corner, and you can hit play, or you can download the app for your Android or mobile device. So leave me with this, just something, just once your thoughts. Maybe I'll throw this in there every once in a while, some favorites of yours. One of your favorite rap albums, and I'll start with one of mine. I got a lot of different albums that I like. I'm going to go with this one. Is it's kind of a dark album. It's Redman's There Is a Dark Side. It's it's a really great album. Really, Eric Sermon did a lot of the production on it. It has I think the cover of the album is an homage to a Parliament or a Funkadelic album cover. I think Maggot Brain or something like that. But Redman is in top form in that. Again, it's a lot of dark stuff that's going on there, but it's a wonderfully produced. You're not going to listen to that album when you're happy. When you're trying to get focused. It's not an Onyx album where it's going to make you want to hit somebody, but it is going to get you focused in terms of you nodding your head. It's that real good boom bap sound. So Redman, There Is a Dark Side. What about you?
One of my favorites, Midnight Marauders.
Okay.
Tribe Called Quest, man. The album cover, it's got all the heads on it, different DJs and everybody. And for me, that was one of the ones where you can put the first track on and they got some, some talking in between them, different things. And the beats for me, bro. And here's the crazy part. My brother is a lyrics man. This is why we're so dear. My brother's a lyrics man, where there'll be sometimes our record would be out in a week. He'd know all the words from front to back.
Okay.
I could listen to the same record, same album. 2 years later, I couldn't tell you what some of the lyrics are, because I'm all about beats. Yeah. And for me, the hooks and stuff that they had on Midnight Marauders, bruh, just, they blew me away. And that's just one of my favorites. And we're going back to the day where it was tapes and CDs. Yes, so you pop one in, and, it wasn't like now where you got the iPod and you just roll through 10,000 songs on your iPod. You had to dedicate to, hey, bro, when we went to the 60 CD changer, we thought we was on the moon, bro. All of a sudden, I can put 6 of them in there and listen.
Oh, and man.
Excuse me, with me, I was doing all that long distance driving when I was playing ball and stuff, so I'm traveling across the country. Yeah. 60, but boy, you popped that Midnight Marauders in, bro. That was one of those ones you could let go from front to back and not have to skip anything for me.
That's true. That's true for sure. Yeah, I feel you there, because I love the. I'm a lyrics guy myself. Obviously, as an MC, I'm a lyrics guy myself. Yeah. So he is Ed Smith. I'm Javon Adams. We will see y'all on Friday, and as we always like to say around this time, you can